interesting when you arrived here over 20 years ago. And first of, where did you arrive from?
I born in Iran, and I've been in few countries around the world. And I've been in Israel, I've been in few other locations I resided. And when I got to United States, I came here with pretty much very low confidence, little money, and not much to do as a young 18 years old. When I arrived, it was not very easy to find my way. How would I ever get to any kind of wealth, any kind of passion? What do I want to pursue? What do I want to do as, what do I want to study?
Yeah.
So on and so forth. So everything seemed to be so vague and hard and difficult and out of reach, especially for someone who comes out of the country. Not having the language, not having the good set of backbone family or wealth. So I decided working for other people, and all I knew was focusing on I have to make money. And I needed to have some education as well. So here and there I was picking classes in colleges, things like that. Very difficult, very expensive, but I still needed to take some a computer at that time and typing and things like that to even become a secretary. It was not very easy to find my way. So after a while I find myself working in fabrics, with fabric companies, fabric people, and very quick learner as I was, I learned to buy yarn, sending it to North Carolina to be waved for as a fabric, to be sent to South Carolina or Charlotte to be dyed, printed, sparkle, whatever you name it at that time, and it was all my design. I was so excited as a young designer wannabe, was trying and creating different type of fabrics, and started with very small amount of money, which I entered in the country with $2,000. With that I bought a car, so it wasn't much of money that I could invest in the business that I knew. But very quickly I learned how to manage saving the money and not to waste it, but invest it into right product, what people or consumer are asking, and what kind or what type of fabrics I could bring and provide to this type of customers. Very, very quickly, I find it miraculously, I was able to bring $2,000 or maybe $2,500 at that time. It was my whole investment that I had in that, asking for credits from people, so on and so forth. I brought my level of achievement in that company to, I believe, $1.5 million worth of sale, which it was very...
That's impressive for a first
impressive for 18 years old.
Yeah.
So I was pretty excited, like plenty of money, plenty of income for a year and a half. And that was the whole idea of creating this wealth. However, being a kid and not knowing what it takes to be a businesswoman, what it takes to really invest the money, how to get loans, how to really invest it in real estate, so on and so forth, I did not get to keep the company wisely. The company was growing extremely fast, and for me, as 18, 19, 20 years old, it was extremely difficult to control 20 employees, which they were older than me, pretty much. I was sometimes embarrassed to tell them what my age was. It was difficult to hire people. So to that aspect, I little by little started learning. Here, it's some pieces about real estate, but I was not very confident again about real estate having so much money that you have to invest. How would you take the risk? How would you be knowing what to do? And of course, my business had its ups and downs, and any business like any other business. Getting into that line of clothing and fabrics and business, I got to know and sell to so many large companies and famous companies like Jessica McClintock at that time, Bijou, BC Bijou, Saks Fifth Avenue. So I was finding my way to really grow very fast.
And how did you get in touch with those companies? Not everybody can. So.
My fabrics were very unique, believe it or not. I had very interesting taste, how to create. I had it and I was using it. So it was collecting very interesting attractions. I was in newspaper, first page of newspaper 3 times for Apparel News for the most unique fabric for that year. I was nominated. And it was impressive for many people, so they were coming after me. But hitting 2006, 7, 8 of economy, and at that time I already had my broker license. I was pursuing real estate as a hobby. I also had another hobby, which it was going to transformational classes, inspirational classes, self-development, mentoring and all that. And pretty fast I find myself learning these things, pretty much helping me to grow much faster in life. Maybe the formulas or the things that I never knew how to apply in a family, in my community, in a unit of my friends. It was all coming together like a puzzle, like how I would deal with my clients. What is the better way of communication? What is the better way of sales? So on and so forth. And then little by little to spirituality in some aspect. These were all set until 2008, which it was the meltdown. And pretty much I realized within a few months we were losing all our life saving, 20 years of work almost, in downtown LA. Our house, our 3 corporations. My husband was in few different businesses, air conditioning, heating, water purification. We've been involved in several corporations at that time, and including real estate. And real estate was the worst. And at that time, I remember I was working in a specific deal that it was very, very big deal for me at that time. My clients were looking for $10 million worth of REO assets. Real estate loan or foreclosure assets, and I was leaving all my other corporations or businesses aside because 10 million would make me at least $600 to $1 million commission. So I was focusing on that, and then with the meltdown, they lost their money in 1031 exchanges because people went down, and it was a domino effect. So I was affected. 6 months of my life was gone without commission, and I was finding myself completely desperate with 2 kids. Living a good life, over $25,000 per month, and suddenly completely dry. That brought me into a very nasty situation, like what am I going to do, what am I going to do? I was crying sometimes like, God, what am I going to do to keep the ceiling over the roof over my kids' life? And it was very difficult at the time. 2008 was not an easy place, and I came to conclusion one day. I was talking to God at that time. How can I save my life? How can I save this family? And a lot of people around me, I was hearing going down. Families, friends, they were losing their houses. They were behind payments. Mortgages were falling. I mean, just you name it. And I was feeling more and more desperate. And one day I came to conclusion that what am I going to do? I was working so much on myself, on my being, on my positiveness, on believing in God, and how I can really use these tools for creating the possibility of holding my neck on top of the water and not to drown. And I started talking to God, like, God help me, finding my way, saving my own home, my kids, my family, my business. And I can help as many people as I can. Just help me. Show me the way. I literally was talking to God for a long time and angels. And it came to me that little by little I have to start with working with lenders to understand the concept of lending. and foreclosures and short sales. What does it mean, and
Yeah.
how I can help myself, how I can help other people. That brought me into a complete different conclusion in life, and I started working from home, because at that time I completely lost everything. I didn't even have any office. I was waking up 7 a.m. with pajama behind a computer, working and sending files after files and forms after forms to these lenders to be recognized and approved as a broker who can hold a license to evaluate properties, because at that time they were paying maybe $45 for 8 pages of forms to be filled out for evaluation of a property, which it was taking me hours to fill it out. Sometimes I would be behind the computer, my husband would walk in like, "You're still in your pajamas. It's 12 midnight. What are you doing?" And I was so dedicated to learn this, succeed in this, and bring it to other people. And next thing you know, it started growing. It started paying back. I started getting recognition and approval from 26 or 27 asset managers that they were giving me permission to go for little money, but going and evaluating the property. And I was getting to know homeowners who are in the same deep trouble as me. And how are they surviving? What are they doing? How I can help them. So this brought me to a complete different level within a year or two. I learned to do short sales. It was struggle after struggle in the beginning when you don't know. I mean, some people, they had licenses of real estate for over 20, 30 years and they were going out of business. And I was totally trying to go against the water at that time. So it was very difficult. Yes, and it was 2010, which I really got a hang of it. Is what to do and how to do. And at that time I was, for 2 years, trying to save every single dollar was coming our way to be able to save our house, or with modifications and short sales and I just name it, and I learned the way to handle this. And sooner or later I see people starting to refer me to each other, and I was, without any advertising, any marketing, people knew I was doing the job done. I was getting house after house after house to do short sale. And it was a time that I knew many agents are hungry. I was just getting loads and loads of work that I could not even imagine I would have so much work. Overwhelming. And I didn't have time or money to invest to hire an assistant. That's how crazy it was. But it got to a point that I started getting luxury properties coming to me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 million properties in Beverly Hills, Calabasas, Pacific Palisades, from everywhere, LA County. And it was a very interesting 4, 5, 6 years. I had people who were losing their houses in foreclosure, and with God's will and attorney's help and really the belief I had, I reversed foreclosures, which I find it miracles. It was miraculous. It was impossible, but I was just finding ways of helping these people to get their homes back, or modify, or short pay, and they could have find a lender. I would have find a lender for them to pay the original lender and save their own house back, with some sort of idea how to implement and how to put the formulas together for them to be able to start a new life. So pretty much it brought me from ground zero to high level of making money in fabric and import-exports, and again back down to level 0 completely, and then again back up. This is where I think you find me. I don't know how you find me. But I tend to be getting more and more fame within the community. And here is where you find me. So
This is amazing. That's such an incredible story. So what is your main focus now? With who do you work? Who are your ideal clients and your properties you work right now?
I worked with celebrities, believe it or not. They wanted to be confidential, so we never
Yeah.
have the choice of saying their names. Worked with multi-millionaires of Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Encino, all the way to, as I said, Palos Verdes and all that. But they were all, believe it or not, they're struggling. When I find these people having millions and millions of dollars at the point and they're just to the ground zero, it was just giving me a different message. Why and what is it that this is happening to everybody? How come? And how I can help them and how I can help my community even more. Right now the focus is not only on real estate. Well, this is turned to be my actual bread and butter. I'm making money out of investment, buying, selling, working with many investors that they're after me to get partner up. We can rehab properties that people are letting go or want to sell, and more like a luxury type of properties because I became an expert in that category. But I also find myself being very valuable for many people that they were trusting me with their asset, with their life, with their deepest secrets in life. Wife and husbands that they were getting separated because of the economy situation, and I happened to, my heart would not allow me to just think about money and working about money, so I was getting involved with the family, with negotiating with them over not getting divorced and giving me time to save them. Just cooperate with me, give me time to make a plan, financial plan, to see how we can bring you out of that much debt. And I learned I can really help many people with helping them emotionally. I started learning more and more, meanwhile, to learn the philosophy of how mind works and how we can create a better life, how we can bring our mind to the stage of ability and understanding as where we are, distinguish where we are, where we want to be, why are we here, and learning how to communicate our needs. Some clients I had, they were having few houses in Beverly Hills, they were losing everything together. They could not speak what they want to do. I was asking them, what do you want to do? What do you want me to do for you? If I'm a genie coming out of the bottom, if I can help you, what do you want me to do for you? And they were speechless. They could not talk. They did not do what they were. I don't know. What can you do for us? I find, oh my God, it's a step. It's ingredients for people who are coming from a stage of confusion and life hit them hard to the level of complete success. It's a step-by-step formulas for success and understanding and being. We have to change our being from a level of complete confusion, not knowing anything from anything, to bringing one piece of information, putting it down, getting to understand this is it, this is what I want to do, and then finding where their doubts are, where they can find themselves to get to a different level of consciousness by letting go of the emotion part of the aspects of losing, and that fear and anxiety, and these layers, step by step, bringing them up to letting go certain unnecessary feelings, emotion, beliefs, in order to get to a solid ground, or just the beginning of, okay, where do I want to go from here? Absolutely. And only from there I can work with them to step by step, working their way out to how to find a job, how to create a new company, how to save their money, how to invest their money, and how to invest it the right way to collect the most amount of profit within shortest amount of time, and to know how to save or not to. Because I also dealt with certain people that they were completely tight. They were in fear of, I'm losing my house, I'm losing my everything, so
Yeah.
I cannot even pay you to save me. Now I'm completely broke. But they had money, but they were not willing to even let go a little bit.
Yeah.
So I had to work with these people, finding a way that, listen, in the spirituality is not like that. You have to know and find a balance of where and how to release this money, let go, give in order for you to receive. And this is, I find it very difficult for some people to find this balance. They either completely holding back or they're completely spender. And then it brought me to formulas that there are several ways of exchange, and people have to learn this in a spiritual way, or in wealth, or in even relationship. That, for example, I just give you a few of them. That there's a way that you give something and you receive something equal, and this is a way that you actually do a give and take. It's a win-win situation, and you can create a normal, stable life and move on. Some people are giving a lot less, they want to get more, they're always in need. So people who are giving more, they're more in control, and vice versa. And I find a fourth way of exchange, which is for people who are completely giving and giving and giving and giving, and they're not expecting anything in return. Like it could be from mother and father that they're giving to their people, giving to their child without expecting anything in return. They give best car, best clothing, best everything, and the kids are turning to be a drug addict. Why? Because they never learn how to give and take. They keep on receiving and receiving and receiving, and next thing you know, they are criminals in the streets, trying to force anybody and everybody, even their parents, to threaten them to collect more money to get what they want. So that creates criminal. Same way with business. If you're not finding the way to do this exchange in a right way, we're creating the same thing. And it's in every aspect that I went back to my own childhood and give and takes with my own family, friends, so on and so forth. And I find this formula to be so interesting because
it works.
It's a balance that you have to find, and some people are shy, some people are never learned how to request for something in return, some people are not having enough knowledge. Let's say in real estate you want to invest in something, and some people they are getting into certain contract or negotiation, and because they don't know better, they get fooled very quickly, and they get to sign over paperwork that bring them disaster next thing you know, because they never find the right attorney or right knowledge behind it to give the right money or give the right amount of payment for specific knowledge or education, or a specific broker who's a specialist in that specific funding or construction or any buy sale. And it's a recipe for disaster. Next thing you know, it's just you're all the way down. And many other formulas like that that could bring balance to people's life, emotionally and financially, mentally and physically. And I find many of those formulas. I started.
One of the formulas?
One of them was this exchange that I told you. The other one was, which I'm very, very attracted and I believe in it, was finding the roots of the problem, being able to distinguish before it turns to be a disaster. And some people are find it very difficult for them to confront a problem. Problems and obstacles comes and goes in our life. Every moment, every day, we open our eyes, we come out of bed and we don't know what is serving us that day. You can get sued, you can be dealing with a sickness, you can be dealing with a disaster at work, or next thing you know, you lose all your money. But one thing that I find it to be bringing people to a point of success is understanding that everyone have fear in life. Me, you, everyone. We experience fear in life at any point or time or circumstance of our life. The way we deal with that fear, it's making a difference between me and you and someone who's losing it. The formula is very simple. Confront the problem. Right there and then. Don't throw it in a bag. Many people are, I work with people with anxiety attacks and very low level of depression, which I don't find myself being a psychologist. I'm not claiming that, but very quickly I can bring them out of that misery because I show them the reality of who they are and where they can be, and I don't sell them short. I find myself being a leadership coach to not to dive into the misery of a person, but seeing it from a different level. And when you're seeing it from there, which is disconnected from any fear, any anger, any frustration, any disbelief in God, you can get to bring much more hope and value to the life of many people with so much anxiety and fear, and they realize fear it's not existent. It's just
imaginary.
It's a false evidence appearing real. If you know the formula that is always describing the fear, it doesn't exist. It's just how we deal with the problems. And if we even look at the problem, the word of problem in dictionary, we'll find that it says there's something you don't know. Problem means there is something you don't know. But people are connecting the problem with lots of negative emotion. Problem, lots of negative emotion. If you're taking that negative emotion out of that problem and you look at the meaning of it, it's just a simple something we don't know.
Absolutely.